I want to play a clip for you guys today, which I believe is a perfect example of how Democrats should be dealing with these neo-reactionary Republicans in the House of Representatives and in the Senate. You know, one of the conversations we've had over the last few years is that even though the right has absolutely no minimum standard whatsoever for what they won't do, what they're not willing to do, we on the left shouldn't sink to their level in the sense of telling straight up lies, fabricating imaginary social issues, employing horrifying double standards, personal attacks, all of these different things. But what Democrats should appeal to is the public's sort of sense of justice and emotions in order to get them to understand the stakes of so many things. This is really one for the ages. Congressman Jamie Raskin, a Democrat, who I'm a fan of. I like Jamie Raskin. I've talked about him before. He ripped Marjorie Taylor Greene to shreds during a floor debate supposedly about Ukraine. It's supposedly about the brutal invasion of Ukraine by Vladimir Putin. She said nothing about it. She instead talked about the southern border and made a whole bunch of other completely fact-free claims. And Jamie Raskin takes her to task. And I wish more Democrats in the House, day in and day out, spoke about their extremist Republican colleagues in this way. Maybe it could help them hold the House in November. Take a look at this.
Attacked. It's a shame. It's a tragedy. I yield back the remainder of my time.
Gentleman's time has expired. Gentleman from Pennsylvania reserves. Gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, the United States of America just witnessed the most astonishing spectacle. We are here to debate aid to the people of Ukraine defending themselves against a massive invasion by Vladimir Putin and his army.
Right.
Then the minority puts up the distinguished gentle lady from Georgia who does not mention Ukraine once.
And by the way, yes, I believe his use of the term distinguished gentle lady about Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe it's tongue-in-cheek.
She does not mention the thousands of Ukrainian civilians who've been slaughtered by Putin's army. She does not mention more than 100 Ukrainian children who've been shot and killed by the Ukrainian army. Instead, she talks about a massive invasion at the border, a massive invasion which their own speakers have said today hundreds of thousands of people have been apprehended in. That's very different from a military invasion. The one in Ukraine, of course, the gentle lady is not going to talk about that. She had a lot to say the other day when she heckled me continuously. When I came to the floor, it was like the Rocky Horror Picture Show in here with her chanting about the Russia hoax and Russia this and Russia that. Now she had the opportunity to tell the world what her views about Russia are. I put them out there, exactly what she has said. She said that the aid that the taxpayers of America are sending to the people of Ukraine to defend themselves against Vladimir Putin and the Russian army falls into the hands of Nazis. I want to see her proof. Where's her evidence? She talks about NATO Nazis. Does the minority believe that our allies in NATO who are trying to defend the people of Ukraine are Nazis? Has it come to this? Gentle lady talked about a massive invasion. We had a massive invasion of our own chamber. And she continued to be a cheerleader for the insurrection.
This is exactly why I keep talking about Jamie Raskin as someone that I would support for president, of course, depending on who else is running and depending on what his platform would be. But in principle, someone I would support for president. He's a constitutional law professor. He actually knows the Constitution. Marjorie Taylor Greene loves to talk about the Constitution. Madison Cawthorn loves to claim that he's defending the Constitution. They don't know a damn thing about it. This is actually a constitutional law professor. Raskin was a strong progressive activist when he was in the Maryland Senate. He actually worked with Republicans and moderate Democrats and got things done. He sponsored bills to get rid of the death penalty in Maryland, to establish legal guidelines for corporations to prevent them from raping and pillaging the resources of the state for their gain. He he was actually a board member of Fair Vote, which is an interesting organization. He sponsored the first bill in the country for the national popular vote I've talked about so much, which would be a way to get rid of the Electoral College without actually having to change the Constitution. He has this marijuana reform, all these different things. This is what has to be done. We need a guy like Raskin talking about them as the extremists that they are. Wanting everybody to have health care is not the left equivalent of supporting a coup. They have nothing to do with each other. And the level of extremism that we are seeing from the right requires and demands people like Raskin who can speak in this way. Now, Raskin's not the only guy. I've talked about other people I like as well. But Democrats need to be talking like this more frequently, and I'm glad to see him do it. One of our longtime sponsors is Vincero Collective. If you don't know Vincero yet, it's the place to go for quality watches, sunglasses, and more. Serious style, undeniable quality, and total versatility put Vincero really at the top of the game, and their newest watch release is no exception. It's the Argo Automatic. It spotlights everything I love about Vincero. I got the Argo Automatic in frost white. This is a dive watch, which is, of course, a staple in the watch world, but I really think Vincero found a way to make this one stand out. I love the gradient blue accent of the hour markers against the solid white face. I really love all of their watches, and I own a bunch, but the Argo is probably my favorite so far. Vincero sunglasses and jewelry and other accessories are awesome too. An excellent way to elevate any outfit. Vincero Collective is giving my audience 15% off all products and free shipping. Go to vincerocollective.com/Pacman and use the code Pacman. The link is down below.